I will publish. I didn't know if I had enough space on my phone. That's why I didn't publish it. But I will. What I had made 3 recordings where I was talking about communication, but really, really briefly, how when there's no communication, how things can get really, really ugly and really, really weird and goofy. Let me just give you a few examples of my friend Marge, and this was on the recording that I hadn't published. Back when it was my 50th birthday, when it was in 2011, and everyone was so wonderful. My mom sent me with her camera, and Stacy, the girl at the Disney booth, and a customer had given me a Disneyland ticket, and then Marge had tipped me and helped me. She had treated me to be able to have lunch. And then also before, I'm serious, this is the true story. In September, she had given me $100 tip and then said that she said to me, God's told me to give this to you. It's like, oh, really? God told me to receive it. And so when it was going to Disneyland for my 50th birthday, I had called. Everything was so wonderful. Everybody was so gracious and generous. And I had called Marge when I was waiting for the World of Color, when it was new at that time, in Paradise Pier. And I was saying, Marge, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you took good care of me, and my mom took care of me. Everything is wonderful. And I was going on and on. I did Small World, I did the Tiki Room, the Christmas parade, the fireworks. I'm waiting on the water for World of Color, et cetera, et cetera. And then the next day, I had seen her on the drive-thru at McDonald's, and then I had said, did you get my message? She said, I wanted to show you how grateful and how happy I was, and everything was so wonderful. And then she was just staring at me, and she was saying, yeah, you were gracious, you were wonderful. I said, is everything okay? She says, yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about. You were going on and about all of the rides and attractions and everything. I didn't even know what you were saying. I thought you were drunk. I thought you were at the Prairie Bar. I'm still laughing about that like 14 years later. So it's kind of like I can say something, but then the question is not so much what did I say, it's more like what is being heard. And then also, where I had a situation with my mom. My mom has been very, very gracious and generous, especially with Disneyland and when she sent me to the Disneyland Hotel and everything. But when I wanted to update my camera, my camcorder in 2013, where it was on an SD card. It was not, I couldn't use it anymore because there was no power in it, so I had to update the camera. And my mom was really, really, now, a little disclaimer. We had made peace. She made it up to me. She sent me for a decade in Disneyland. I'm just using this as an example where we had made peace. But then where for a month she was resisting me and manipulating and against me buying the camera with my own money, and things got really mean and ugly and stuff, and we haven't talked for about a month. But then anyhow, I finally bought the camera. Long story short, I finally bought the camera, and then I went to Disneyland, and I showed it to her. I says, Mom, on this little SD card, we've got 6 hours of filming. I've got like several days of Disneyland. I've got all of the shows, rides, attractions, walkthroughs, and everything. And she said, this is beautiful. I says, thank you, it is beautiful. And Mom, you're so supportive of me. Even to the point where my brothers would be against it, where they would think it's wasting time and money, but you were for me. What's this all about? This is not like you. She says, I thought it was a big heavy thing on your shoulder with the tape. I thought they were ripping you off at Target for a little palm quarter that fits in the palm of your hand, and which is $200. I didn't even know what it was. And I'm thinking, this is what we were so angry about? Where we weren't even talking about the same thing. That's sad. That's sad. Only to find out that we were not even we were not even on the same page. Or another example, when California Adventure had first opened, and then I had said to Mom that I had to pay because I couldn't use my pass for California Adventure. I had to pay for a separate ticket. And then my mom was really mad, like, why are you going to California Adventure? You don't need to spend that money, and da-da-da-da-da-da. I says, Mom, I don't know why you're mad at me. I wish you were with me. Soaring over California and you think the rock is going to hit you, and the smell of oranges and the wind in your hair, and and you're lifted in rows of benches. It's an IMAX movie. Can't you just feel it the way I'm describing it? And then Muppet Vision 3D, where Fozzo the bear, he's playing with that pie and it goes in his face, and then he says, oh, that's terrible, Foz. Yeah, you're right. It needs more sugar. And I'm saying this to my mom. I says, Mom, I don't know why you're mad at me. I wish you were with me so that we can enjoy this together. And then later on, out of the blue, she says, where's California Adventure? Is that part of Disneyland? I says, well, it's a part of the Disney Resort, but it's located on the former parking lot of Disneyland. She says, oh, that explains it. Explains what? I thought it was the same thing. I thought, why are you paying for a separate ticket for California Adventure when you've got Disneyland right there? And that's really sad. That's really sad because later to find out later on there's so much resentment and hard feelings, and we're not even talking about the same thing on the same page. And another thing, I've said this before on one of my videos, but really how I explain things to different generations. Because when describing certain things in Disneyland to my mom's generation, it's like, and my mom's friends that are her generation, trying to describe it and saying, oh, the elephant flying and the teacups and the dolls from all over the world, and you're flying in a pirate ship on the Peter Pan flight, or you're going through the jungles of Asia and Africa in a room where the birds are singing, and then you're in the cowboy frontier, and then in New Orleans Square with pirates in the Haunted Mansion, and the next moment you're in Star Wars with George Lucas. It's like you say that to my mom's generation, or let's say my mom's friend Erica, the same generation. It's like, unless, and maybe because of them seeing my videos, they know. But outside of that, they would look at like, woman, what are you talking about? Are you okay? What did they put in that coffee? So it's really knowing how to be able to talk to different generations, to different demographics. Or for example, especially because I'm in a different world, so to speak, with my Serbian music. And I'm trying to do more tutorials now also to be able to pass on the knowledge, to be able to show what I'm doing. And also how to be able to, that if I were, and then my Aunt Ronka, she had said this also. She had said this to me, that if you were to go to someone who's a singer and then try to, but they don't know anything about Serbian music or Balkan music, and then you're going on and on about the grace notes, about the triplets, the jumping notes. Now, I believe I made that clear on one of my tutorials. I believe I was able to explain that, but outside of that, it's like she was saying that instead of going on and on about this scale and that scale and this decoration and this ornamentation and the bridge and all of that, sit down in front of the piano, explain what you're doing so that you can explain things in a way that's clear, that people can relate to, that it's relatability, basically. And my Carol, you being a soprano, you can relate to this, and playing the piano, that it's like, and I hope I did a good job. I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly, not just halfway. I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly on one of my tutorials, the way I was able to explain and to pass on that knowledge. But Ronka had said, if you were to go up to Carol and to tell her about the colo and about all of the musicians and the ornamentations and this and that, she would probably look at you politely and say, that's all very good, but what's the colo? So now we know, anyone who's watched my performances and my videos knows that. But she had said she would be happy, talking about you, Carol, she would be happy that you're passing on the knowledge and that you're being positive and that you're playing the music, that you're singing and all that, that you're, and as my aunt had said, that you're not acting like you're ready to fight with the world. That's what she has said, that Carol would be very, very happy, but explain it in a way that she can relate to, especially someone who doesn't have a clue about the Balkan, the characteristics and the the styles and the ornamentations about Balkan Serbian music. So to be able to explain it in a way that people can relate to make it relatable. Okay, I think I remembered everything now. Anyhow, I do got to get going home, and I'll talk to you later, and God bless, it's getting a little bit late, so I got to be getting home, and I think I remembered everything that I wanted to say until I remember, and then I'll add that too. Okay, God bless and good night.